Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
Band from Ringside. Tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast, we got predictions as the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments come to a close. We also have AEW Double or Nothing coming up this weekend. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast. Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks, and welcome to the Band for Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Work Nowitzki. And sitting directly across from me, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
BFR is back again, doing a little Midwest swing. And on that lovely note, I'll ask the congregation to bow their heads as I read from the latest edition of the Band from Ringside podcast, volume 360, chapter 3, verse 14, and the good smart saying, hashtag move the heels, it's all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat, the holy trinity of BFR. Predictions, of course, we're going to talk about all kinds of wrestling, AEW, WWE, might sprinkle in a little New Japan and little NXT. Well, let's kick it over to that West Coast, bring in my man, my nigga.
Making his triumphant return, we have Two Beer Zach Pullman. What's going on, Two Beer Zach?
Careful, listeners.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I won't feel the need to furiously text you guys on Friday morning as you guys are probably trying to work or just do whatever. And I'm like trying to respond to conversations that happened 12 hours ago.
Yeah, you felt so left out, didn't you?
It's so funny because I'm just like, I want to talk and I say the thing, but I'm not on the recording.
I really needed you on that Joe's the Plumber joke that I told.
That was good stuff.
No Bo tonight. He had a late night of work and an early morning of work, so we will see him soon. We missed you, Vice. It's a beautiful night tonight out here in St. Charles, Missouri. We got your Double or Nothing predictions, King and Queen of the Ring predictions. It was a, pretty solid week of wrestling all around. Jason's going to give us our best of the Super Juniors update for all those who are tuning in just for that. Now, we know that you're out there. But before we get started, I just want to say, hey, fellas.
What up, turds?
He said that shit last night. I was like, there's my boy.
Let's get to that 3 count.
I missed Swerve. Goddamn. Oh, I missed that shit. Better choice of words. 3.
Man, you think him bringing back What Up Turds means that he listens to the podcast? He was like, man, those guys loved it. I tried looking it up on YouTube. It's not a thing. I've tried looking at a hashtag. It's not a thing.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. You would have to remember exactly where he said it and go back to that specific
But he originally
episode.
said it probably 8 months ago.
It was against Hangman Page.
Hangman Page.
It was like when their first
They made a T-shirt out of it.
They made a What Up Turd T-shirt?
Oh yeah, if I like had like the expendable income, I would have bought it for you guys as a gag gift. But I don't have that kind of money.
I did not know that. I wish that's okay. That's perfect.
Shop at AEW.com.
Not a sponsor. Jason, what's the 1 count?
Oh, we should just do AEW at this point. I mean,
we should.
Right. Then Zach, go ahead. You get the 1 count. I'll take the 2 count. Talk AEW. That's great.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah. AEW Collision was actually in Portland, and it was on Thursday night, which is the night that we normally do the podcast. But I did not miss the podcast because I was at Collision. I actually missed the podcast and Collision because really I would have definitely also gone to Collision because I got not 1 but 2 invites for free tickets, and they were both in private suites. And I had to give up on those because I love my daughter so much. She had a music performance that was very cute. So sorry you guys were 3rd place on Thursday the 18th, but
Fine,
That's still
fair.
pretty high.
No, that's fair.
That's still pretty high.
Look, I was getting ready to say, third place is bronze. We're sitting on the medal stand or whatever the case may be. It ain't exactly gold or silver, but we on the stand. That's all I can ask.
We don't need to dwell too much on this because really the entire AEW storyline right now is just leading into Double or Nothing. But I will say Portland did me proud with their appreciation of Ospreay. Looked like a decent crowd, especially for a Thursday night. And he wrestled Shane Taylor, which is not a match that I thought I wanted to see. But then whenever it was announced, I'm like, oh, man, I kind of wish I was there for that one. And I only mention it because this son of a bitch did the Stormbreaker on Shane Taylor.
Jesus Christ.
Which is the most outrageous thing to happen all week.
I popped.
Yeah, I was like, no, he's not. No, he's not. And then once he got him off of the rope and started to walk him off, I was like, oh, this is happening.
I was also like, he's not going to be able to spin him. Kudos to Shane Taylor for helping
him out.
Too.
Yeah.
He
helped him out.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean,
No shit.
It was it was very impressive.
Yeah. It wasn't the big 2 or 3 rotations you usually get. You got the one, and all I needed was just the one because
that's all you gotta do, Kimosabe. We're good.
Yeah, right. Anything else, somebody don't get hurt, so that's cool. You know what I'm saying? As much as I hate seeing Shane Taylor or any Shane Taylor Productions guys go down, that was impressive. I think it was that and that the tag match with Orange Cassidy as his partner on Wednesday night, where he did I felt like it was a double Pele kick where he bounced off the ropes and then did a backflip and then did he flipped over and kicked both of the guys. It felt like it was a double Pele kick or whatever. That was pretty impressive too. But yeah, just putting Shane Taylor on your shoulders into itself just speaks volumes. That was ridiculous. Ospreay just continues to amaze.
Yeah, Shane Taylor even got a leapfrog in this one, which says more about Will Ospreay's ability to duck and run than it does Shane Taylor's ability to jump.
Right.
He managed. It's like the reverse limbo. But
it's like when you hit the garage door and have to run underneath it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But the garage door is 400 pounds and can kill you. It doesn't have that little laser sensor. It's gonna pick it back up. We had a couple little tournament matches. They're doing a little tournament to see who's gonna wrestle Jericho for the FTW title, which is I don't know, it's something to do on TV, but whenever the ending is obvious, it's kind of very different from what we're seeing with the King of the Ring, where we have a tournament going on, which is obviously this one's not as prestigious as the King of the Ring, but there's been some surprises on that side, and this is really just Hook gunning towards Jericho for a rematch, which that match, even though it was probably the worst match on that Dynasty card, was still over-delivered, I feel like.
Too as shit. That motherfucker was the bottom of the barrel, and I think we all kind of said that. I mean, I won't say it over-delivered. It just, in comparison to everything else that was on the card, it was pretty much the sore thumb of the bunch.
Well, I'll say this about what they did on television with the 3 matches to determine the FTW #1 contender is that it was something different to have just match, right one after another. The winner walked out and saw the next guy.
Right.
So I appreciated them trying to do something a little different, like that. Just oh, well, this is interesting, even though the outcome of all 3 matches was pretty predictable.
Oh, yeah.
I forget who Brian Keith fought.
Boulder.
Oh, yeah. Who's that guy that came out and cut the promo beforehand?
It's their manager or whatever, and the guy, or if they're in a trios, it's their third partner, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he came out, was just talking that shit. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, he reminded me of that. What was that guy's name that was he was a manager in AEW for a little bit. He's like a MMA type guy. He's 60.
Yeah, Dan Lambert.
Dan Lambert. That's kind of what he reminded me of. Just yelling at the crowd for a while, which I
bit.
liked. I mean, he didn't look like him. He's much younger, but I thought his style was like Dan Lambert.
Yeah, he came out and was talking that tall shit. I was like, your boy's getting ready to get whooped, but that's okay.
I never would have came up with Dan Lambert. I never would have came up with that, man.
No, I thought he was pretty good. He was a Don Callis kind of replacement when Don Callis wasn't around. So in that scenario, I think he did his job well.
I hope he's doing well.
He filled that void, and he also got over by just ripping on Brandy Rhodes all the time, and nobody liked Brandy.
Yes,
so
yes.
That helped.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So speaking of Don Callis, this is just something. So I listened to a podcast, and they're based out of Washington, and so they were at the Everett show and last week on Wednesday, and one of the guys who used to be like a producer on that show apparently saw Don Callis in the bathroom because he recognized like the shiny gold shoes at the urinal next to him.
God damn.
And
that's common.
Apparently he tried to like say something to Don like while he was pissing.
I was just thinking I would try to say something to him. He's like one guy that I would talk to while pissing, like stranger.
100%. And Don Callis just said, "Fuck you!" And then like cut a promo on him while he was pissing. So good. Just in character. Yeah, everybody in the bathroom just eating it up. I would have loved to have been in that. But yeah, there's a bunch of matches really just kind of
Carney,
on
man.
this.
That's Carney shit.
All the way to the end, kayfabe style.
100%. But I'm not sad that I missed this collision as far as from a wrestling standpoint or anything. It was fine, but there was just a lot of folks on the card that are going to be on the Double or Nothing card, but it wasn't really pushing the storyline forward so much, except for we did have like the main event was like the trios match, which has the guys from Anarchy in the arena, but they were wrestling like Lance Archer and the Righteous, and like kind of the story is just the Elite kind of paying these like big tough guys to like wear down the AEW guys, the AEW team, so they're kind of like taking out hits, which I mean, Brian Keith is like the worst bounty hunter alive because he hasn't like taken any of the Elite's money to really go after any of these AEW guys. So
well, no, he's a bounty hunter like as a shoot. Yeah, like he's doing it in between shows. That's just his. It's just his job title. He wrestles legit.
You said that's the worst bounty hunter ever. You ain't even lying there, cause I was about to say, how much? Shit, fuck this match.
Yeah, he's out there doing other jobs. Anyway,
there used to be this guy that used to come into Jack Patrick's late at night on Friday nights and Saturday nights sometimes, and his name was Nico. Do you remember this guy?
Yeah,
he was big, big black dude that had a ponytail.
I think I remember.
I might have met this guy.
Yeah, you probably did meet Nico. Nico was cool as fuck, but man, he was a repo man. He was like a legit tough guy.
Oh, I do.
And he would come, and we'd stand out on the patio at 2:00 in the morning, you know, after some shots, and I would just be like, "Tell me a repo story," and he would just bust out. He'd be like, "Oh yeah," he'd be like on Monday, and then he'd just rattle off some shit. You'd be like, "What?"
Yeah, I do remember this dude. Yeah.
That's what I think of when I see Brian Keith. Nico was a fucking wrestling character, man. He would come in rolling deep with like 6 or 7 guys, and he would buy everything for everybody. He'd be like, "Yeah, these are my guys." You know, he like ran a business. He was a cool motherfucker.
No doubt, no doubt.
That's awesome. I used to work with a like 60-year-old former crackhead, and I used to sometimes drive him to and from work, and I would say, "Hey, tell me a story," because he had a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
And my favorite, so he was a black man, and my favorite was that he used to take money from his neighbor to beat his dog with a newspaper so that it would hate black people. He's like, and I was like, "You did that?" And he's like, "That motherfucker paid me $5 a day. You're goddamn right I did that shit."
Oh my god.
It's the worst fucking thing I've ever heard. Anyway. It's a fucking crazy story. Anyway. So, Wednesday was a better show than Saturday. Just can't get over it. I know. It's like, it's such a thing. Like, he was like,
it's coming in waves.
He's totally fine with it. He was totally fine with it.
Say $5. Fuck this black race. Give me this newspaper.
Oh man,
you 100% know that's true too. You 100% know that's true.
Yep.
Oh my God, no.
I got more I can tell you off there.
I bet.
Maybe I'll just dangle them out there. It'll be like a weekly
right?
segment.
Hijack the show with some crack man jokes.
I mean, I feel bad. He was like severely diabetic, and sometimes he would like pass out at work, and then he'd just like pop up like a Werther's original in his mouth and like keep going. Fucking wild existence. Anyway,
I love this guy.
He was great. So we had open up with that tag match, the aforementioned Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay versus what was it? Roderick Strong and Trent Beretta. Sorry. I was getting confused because my favorite part about the Will Ospreay Shane Taylor match I mentioned was Roderick Strong on commentary. He's real good. He had zero personality in NXT, even though he was a fantastic wrestler. He's really good personality-wise, and he's still a fantastic wrestler. So really liking his character here. But Don Callis was on commentary for this match, which is always a pleasure. But man, they really beat down the baby faces here, and Orange Cassidy actually took a pin. Ospreay juiced. I mean, they're kind of really doing a lot to show that. I don't know. You can think of it in terms of. We'll get to this with the predictions. You can think of it in terms of making the baby face, giving them a beat down so that they get their retribution and wins whenever on the pay-per-view. And that's kind of like classic wrestling psychology, but you can also think of it in terms of like they're doing that and then they're still going to get cheated out of their wins on like some real deal heel shit because Don Callis is in the mix. I don't know. We can talk about that. What did you guys think of this match, though? A lot of good workers in here.
Yeah, the match was really good. The commentary was really good. I also completely forgot about Wardlow. Like when he came down, I was like, oh yeah. I was like,
dude,
they got Wardlow.
I said the same
Because
you
just think about Roddy with the Kingdom, and it's those three. Like you really, I don't know. I guess we haven't seen him in a little while, a couple weeks.
I mean, realistically, the last time we saw him in like a match was against Samoa Joe, and I think he might have had a match after that was a squash. I mean, it just kind of reaffirms, just the fumbling of Wardlow in whatever form or fashion. I mean, when he came out and I think he tagged Orange Cassidy, I think. Sounds right. I was like, oh, yeah. Huh. They got Wardlow still around.
Have they just abandoned, like, where's Don Callis fit in with all this? Is he still involved? Because it seemed like on commentary he was mostly talking about Ospreay.
I think this is – it feels like it's ultimately a ruse. Without giving away the prediction, I think Don Callis is somehow, some way going to hook up with Trent Beretta. It kind of feels like the most obvious choice. I can't see OC flipping heel and going with Don Callis. That doesn't even make sense. There's always been kind of this loose affiliation with Ospreay since Wembley last year when he brought and Callis brought Ospreay in to specifically face Chris Jericho. Ospreay went away, and when he came back, they weren't, storyline buddy like they were that time in Wembley and against Kenny Omega. So if I had to take a guess, somehow, some way, Don Callis and Trent Beretta are going to be affiliated in some form or fashion. Whether it happens at Double or Nothing or not, TBA.
Yeah, so whenever Ospreay was not signed, he was a heel under Don Callis, because he was heeling it up in Japan too, and he was wrestling like Orange Cassidy, right, at Forbidden Door, so definitely a heel. But whenever he signed, like, he's like the biggest babyface in the company, and but he's still with Don Callis, and so they're kind of working the storyline, I think, to get him away. So I think you're right, but you know, Callis on commentary, I think it was Shivani said, you know, and Ospreay is, you know, nominally, you know, in the Don Callis family, and Callis is like, you mean contractually, Shivani, as in on paper? So like he's like really pushing it. That yeah, it's like the Ospreay Callis like story, but it's kind of interwoven with this, and it's a little muddled, but I think that's intentional, like the muddying the waters a little bit, because it's always been weird that Ospreay is with like Takeshita and Hobbs and those guys now, whenever he's such a huge baby face, and he doesn't really fit into that. But yeah, what do you guys think is better, the Pinnacle or the Undisputed Kingdom?
Undisputed Kingdom.
I can name the Undisputed Kingdom, guys. I would almost be hard pressed to name the Pinnacle at this point.
MJF.
It was Tully Blanchard, MJF, FTR, Wardlow. Yeah.
I thought Shawn Spears was in it.
Oh yeah, and Shawn Spears.
Okay, see, there you go. So that's what I was saying. I mean, I wouldn't even have thought about Tully Blanchard because he was like the manager or whatever. But I guess that's the same thing with J.J. Dillon. I love the Horsemen so much that J.J. Dillon is a part of the Horsemen, whether I named him or not. I would just name the wrestlers. But yeah, the Pinnacle, I'm sorry, just so much potential, and that never even got off the ground.
Wait, when you said Tully Blanchard, were you being serious?
I'm being dead ass serious.
He was in the Pinnacle?
He was their manager.
He was like the manager, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah. He was FTR's manager when they first came over.
Yeah, I think the Undisputed Kingdom makes more sense.
Yeah, like I said, I can at least name the guys, and at that point, they've, as much as I've disliked them and the booking of them in certain spots, they have a little bit of longevity in comparison to the Pinnacles. Yeah, I'm going with Undisputed Kingdom for 100 hours.
Right on. Just a little trivia, you know, a little flavor to the one count.
It made me think shit.
So we got Matthew and Nicholas Jackson backstage handing out photos of Darby Allin to security that show that he is banned from the building. Not banned from ringside. We don't have to hit him with cease and desist. It's fine.
I was about to say, man, if that was going to happen, I was going to let you do that because that's your boys right there.
Hey, listen.
The Trios Champs come out. Jay White's cutting a promo. It wasn't really going over too well. I actually heard somebody yell like right before Pac's music hit. They're like, "Who wrote this for you?" Jay White's really good promo, but I don't think the fans were incredibly receptive to. I think it's more the Trios thing. I really think it was just like all that shit with the Acclaim just really dragged all this shit down. But this is a little bit more interesting. We got Death Triangle and the Bang Bang Gang, and was probably going to be a Bang 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 Gang Banger match. So
Gang Bang Gang.
Gang Bang Gang. Man, I wish I would have remembered the date that Renee actually said Gang Bang Gang. Gang Bang Gang. I think it was on like a pre-show. Like but she accidentally said it. It was so good.
The Gang Bang Gang is actually a mixed faction with Brad Maddox, Xavier Woods, and Saraya.
Stop. Holy shit. You ain't shit. God damn. Man. I'll just say this.
Been sitting on that one.
Yeah, I bet you have. I agree with everything you said, Three Beer. I had very little interest in this promo until Death Triangle came out, and then I was like, okay, Raggy. And now you piqued my interest. I could care, and this is sad for me to say, I could have cared less what Jay White had to say up to that point. Couldn't care less.
I will say this, that on Collision, where Pac was like, make me care, make me care, make me care. I thought that was a really good promo by Pac. I thought that to have the Bang Bang Gang bring him out after they beat him up after that was effective. And I thought Jay White, listen, I like funny. Jay White going, is it Pac? 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 Was really good stuff. Very funny. That's good heel shit.
Jay White's funny.
It's actually gotten me. I mean, I agree that the trios thing isn't that interesting, but I do like the story between Pac and Jay White. I think that, it's two guys that can challenge for the belt at any time, but they are on that. They're on the lowest rung. They're like the lowest guys on the card that can challenge for the belt at any time.
Yeah. God, that sounds horrible.
They're high on the card though, and they should be fighting each other. I'm cool with this.
No, I would say this: if we're even talking about getting trios matches back into regular rotation, for lack of a better term, have them be a storyline weekly or whatever the case may be. This is a good start. Trios matches for me are more like I would describe them like a party match, like Three Beer would always like to say.
Oh, this match is going to be a party match.
Right, and that to me is the appeal for 6-man trios, whatever you want to call it. So in that scenario, if you want to do it and keep these belts in rotation, fine, do it like that. Outside of that, I mean, there's just not really any appeal right now because I want Jay White. I want better for him. I could care less about the Guns. The Guns are fine.
I also want to say this about the Bang Bang Gang. Maybe if I want to know what wrestlers I'm going to be cool with, I should just think about the wrestlers that I hate a year from now. Like, who do I hate right now? I'm probably going to be cool with them a year from now because I am cool with the Ass Boys. And I'll say this, that the Bang Bang Gang has the best entrance in wrestling.
Wow.
Great entrance. Great music, great entrance.
Great music, great entrance. It's cool.
I'm not disagreeing with it. Did you say the best?
I can't think of a better one.
Okay. They're good. No argument. No, okay, and when they drove Pac out for that one, I was like, oh, a twist.
That's a little bop.
I really do hope that TK busts out the checkbook and lets him have many men just one time.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, he did it, but I'm sure he'll do it again. I'm going to say it's right there.
They did it?
Yeah. I'm 99% sure they done it before. And that was kind of the reason why it was like, oh, yeah, this should be their theme song going forward. And it just never happened for whatever reason.
But I am glad that we're back to basics with Death Triangle. When we think about the best time for the trios titles, it was whenever the Elite held them. And they did that best of 7 with Death Triangle. That was still the best.
Yeah, if they want to elevate those belts again, it should go on Death Triangle either this week or eventually.
Agreed.
Yeah. We had a 3-way with Hook, Shibata, and the worst bounty hunter in the world. But the interesting twist here is that it is not going to be just Hook, but it's going to be Shibata Hook against Jericho. Really loving this Burning Tree gimmick. Love how he takes the mic and openly talks about soaking up TV time and ratings and everything like that.
That was funny.
That struck you can tell though that struck a nerve with him. Like that.
Oh yeah, because he wouldn't have brought it up.
I mean, he brought it up a couple times the other night. Like he's pissed off about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But this was fine. It'll be a 3-way match, which makes it more interesting because we just saw Hook Jericho at the last pay-per-view. So
it's funny to think about. It's funny to think of Hook and Shibata as the two guys who have a bounty on their head, and Brian Keith goes out to get both of them, and they end up double submitting him. Like that's just like what a bumbling piece of shit bounty hunter is.
Man, Brian Keith is over there just catching all kinds of BFR
like
shrapnel.
It's the Old West, and Brian Keith comes in. These two old guys with cigars in their mouths they just got him in two different moves at the same time. They give him a half crab and the crippler.
It's like Brian Keith is like the it's like the really bad guy that comes out and is like, I'm calling out so-and-so, and then, at noon, he's getting shot at noon, 12:01, they're dragging his dead-ass body out the carcass and off the street and shit. He's just that bad of a jobber at this point.
You need guys to take losses, especially in AEW where nobody likes to lose, and Brian Keith is there making a paycheck.
God bless that dude.
Doing the job.
Okay, that's the bounty hunter right there. Say, fuck Hook, fuck Shibata, just give me my check.
Just worked myself into a shoot. God damn, I was too hard on Brian Keith.
No, nobody hates jobbers. We need them. They're important.
Amen, baby.
But Takeshita beat Matt Sydal in a match that was so fast that I did not even really register it whenever I had this on the background while I was working. And I guess he kept beating him up afterwards. Moxley's music hits, comes out. Moxley hits Takeshita with a microphone. And this match is low-key going to be awesome. Interesting that it's not for the title. I feel like if Moxley's going to win anyway, it should be for the title. Maybe that means that Moxley actually isn't going to win, but that also doesn't seem right. They did the Hobbs match for the title. Why not this be for the title, even though we have Evil announced? I don't know.
I think it has something to do with the deal with New Japan. Maybe New Japan doesn't want it defended on an AEW pay-per-view or something.
Maybe. It's just weird they want to defend it on TV.
Yeah, maybe it's because the pay-per-view, you got to pay for it.
Look,
I don't know.
Gave you...
Who knows what the fuck New Japan is thinking?
Number one. Number two, I'm going to push back on that. They did Hobbs and Moxley for the title on regular TV. So, I mean, if you're going to hold the title hostage, then you should at least make people pay for the shit, right? So they gave you that. So I'm with Tupier on this one. Takeshita versus Moxley is way more interesting than Hobbs versus Moxley. And at least if you're going to
it's way more interesting than Evil versus Moxley,
okay, so if you're going to have a title match, let's have this title match out there. The way they have it, the stipulation is, if Takeshita wins, he gets a title match no matter what. I don't give a fuck about that. I want the title on the line, or let's not do it at all. Takeshita is not being booked properly in spots where he needs to be booked properly. I agree that it's doubtful that he wins this match. But at least suspend my belief and make me think with the title
doubtful
on the
that
line.
Who wins this match?
Takeshita wins the match against Moxley.
Let's
I said doubtful. I didn't say this was my
We'll wait for
pick.
predictions. We'll wait for predictions.
My point doesn't change. The booking of just this match doesn't really make a lot of sense. Takeshita's booking, really for the most part in AEW, hasn't really made a lot of sense. He comes out, he has great matches, but ultimately, what is Takeshita doing? It's just like he's there to be brought out in, okay, here's Will Ospreay, bow, great match. Here's Moxley, bow, great match. Here's, fill in the blank. Here's another great match. But none of this is equating to getting Takeshita over.
I think he's getting over. I think that he is. It's just a product of his age. Like, he's super experienced. He's but he's not like super young, but he's on the younger side. Like, he's got time. They're like building him like for the future, and I think they recognize him as the future. They just don't recognize him as the now. So they're giving him positions to shine and play a heel. But I think ultimately his babyface turn, that's gonna be the big. That's gonna be Takeshita's moment in AEW.
Yeah, I think that they are booking. I think that Takeshita is over, and I think that it's only a matter of time. And I remember how I was laughed at when he said that when I said that he was going to be a champion, or that they should put a champion. Not necessarily by you guys. I don't remember what you guys said. I do remember what somebody said. I remember that shit.
Talk about me holding the grudge. No, look, for me, I love Roddy as the international champion, but I've always said that Takeshita makes way too much sense. Will Ospreay, for that matter, too. They both travel to and fro. So, either or would make a really good international champion if you wanted to play it like that. But like I said, no disrespect to Roddy Strong. He's a great champion, great wrestler. His personality, not personality, but his character has improved greatly from the NXT days when he really didn't have to be a character per se, versus now where his character has come out and shined a little more than it has in the past. So, in that scenario, I would love to see either or Takeshita or Ospreay be the international champion. But like I said, no shade to Roddy Strong. He's doing his thing.
Bucks are backstage with Swerve. That's whenever he called them turds. Also told them to hit his music, which is pretty good. And they're like, yeah, we don't do that. Like, so good. And the match was Swerve Strickland versus Nick Wayne. This was a good match. I've seen these guys wrestle before. But it is interesting they didn't do this last week in Everett. Like Nick Wayne, he isn't even just like from the area. Like that motherfucker was born and raised in Everett, and Swerve is definitely a Defy guy. He's like born in Tacoma, so it was interesting they didn't do it. But it was still a good match here, and of course it's really all about the build for Christian Cage, and they had Swerve beat him with the Swerve Stomp, and then Killswitch comes out. There's a bunch of fuckery. Christian Cage, Mother Wayne come down. Christian ends up running away, getting an SUV, and laughing, and then driving off. But then another SUV blocked the way, and then Prince Nana not only he took a drink of coffee, he pulled in front and braked hard and took a drink of coffee and nodded. I thought that was a perfect reintroduction of Prince Nana here. And Swerve pulled him out of the car and beat his ass. This was fun. The match was good. Segment was good. It built to the main event of the pay-per-view. I thought this was all good.
Best possible use of Prince Nana possible.
God. That was amazingly funny, dude.
It was so fucking funny, man.
I didn't even.
He is funny.
I didn't even think Prince Nana. I just thought it would be random car, guys just happens to block Christian Cage from escaping or whatever. And when they did that zoom in to Nana and he just kind of did the head nod, dude,
yeah, I picture him with his feet up on the dash, but I don't think it was. I just know he was looking cool as fuck.
He looked so cool.
It was so well done. Yeah. I'll say this about Nick Wayne. In Everett, he destroyed Jack Cartwheel, so it's not like he came home and took the L. I think that was purposely done to build him up, make him look really, really good, and to have the lead into the match versus Swerve, somebody that's a very common opponent of his. They had really good chemistry. They had good chemistry here.
As once again, the pattern sticks. As somebody who gave a lot of guff to Nick Wayne when he first came around, I think that they're using him perfectly. He wrestles some good. He's getting TV matches. He's learning character stuff. He's still 18 years old, maybe 19.
That's wild as hell.
And he can really wrestle
for a while. But
he can really wrestle.
Dude, Wayne could literally be the next Ospreay. Yes. He really could be.
Yes, that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about generational stuff. 18-year-olds don't get reps having normal matches on television.
Against the world champion.
It just doesn't happen.
Also, in a stable with one of the most experienced and I'd say as far as putting a match together, Christian Cage are pretty near the top of wrestlers that are still active. Just all the experience that he's had, and just when you watch his matches, it's so smart. There is never a moment where anyone looks bad because they're doing anything that they shouldn't be doing, or exposing a weakness. it's all playing to strengths and like it's all smoke and mirrors. And I mean, Edge is the same way.
Everything that they've asked Nick Wayne to do, he's done pretty well too. So it's not just that he's getting reps; he's getting good reps. So, hey, back to Brian Keith for a second. Don't you think it's funny? Don't you think it's funny that Brian Keith's such a jobber that when they needed him to win one match so he could job in this triple threat match, they were like, "Who can we have Brian Keith?" And they were like, "How about Boulder?" And they were like, "What? Who?" And they were like, "Boulder." And they were like, "Who?" He's like, "Boulder." And they were like, "We have a guy on the roster named Boulder?" And he's like, "Yeah." They're like, "Okay, send him out there and have Brian Keith pen him."
Oh, man, you ain't shit, dog. Let that man live. God damn.
But yeah, that sounds impressive that he could beat a Boulder.
Yeah, I know. It's a big win for him. Boulder, man. Good for him.
We had Kyle O'Reilly versus Malachi Black. I didn't get to see as much of this match as I would have liked to. I don't know how. I imagine that it was pretty good work. I'll let you guys comment on that. But the big thing was after this match, I saw kind of like the very end and like the aftermatch, and you would think that they were kind of going for like a Terry moment, but like it was like if the high school kids, instead of like having like a bucket of like pig's blood, they had a fire hydrant of just period blood.
It wasn't.
That's what it looked like.
It wasn't falling on him. It was shooting down at him. It was so.
It shot down in two streams so hard that I imagine everyone in the front row looked like they just got out of fucking pasta house at 3 a.m. Like they're just slurping up spaghetti noodles. They got those little red flecks all over their shirts.
He ain't lying.
It was so much blood. They had that shit cleaned up the next segment.
I mean, that was the impressive part about the whole thing as far as I was concerned. They had that shit up like that. You know what I'm saying? And that was a hot ass mess on the apron. Not a huge fan of it, honestly.
No.
It just
no. It's not. No.
I get it. You know, it's supposed to be blood. Yeah, great. I mean,
I think
whatever, motherfucker.
If I had to guess, I'd say Zach probably liked it because Zach probably. I don't know if I know this. Are you a Brood fan?
Whenever I was a kid, I liked the Brood. I didn't like this though. Back whenever I was a kid though, I was like shopping at Hot Topic whenever Hot Topic was like kind of scary.
I remember those days.
Yeah, and like I was like really into like I had actually considered getting like a pair of those like longer incisors that you can get to where it makes it look like you have like vampire teeth, but they're just like subtle, like kind of little goth kid.
You mean to wear all the time?
I probably wouldn't wear them at home.
Would you wear like cat contacts?
No, I don't think I would have done that, but I definitely had like, so like one of my favorite wrestlers whenever I was like that age was like, I was more of like a Raven kid. Like I actually had like a kind of like a Native American type. He had those really tight necklaces and like the grunge, like flannel and stuff. I was really into that. It was like kind of gothy, grungy. I looked like I was probably more, instead of a Brood of like how I dressed, it was more of Raven's flock, kind of a Hot Topic shopper.
Man,
when I was like 11.
He just did 90 seconds on that shit.
I don't want to ever hear me talking about me being filibustered ever again, at least the rest of the week.
No, I love it. I fucking love it, man. I got a big old shit-eating grin on my face the whole time.
I had a whole fucking picture in my head of little Zach going into Hot Topic, kind of peeking his head around.
It's the first time he's ever thought of that shit, too. He was like working it out in real time. He's like, I guess I was more of a Ravens flock Hot Topic kind of guy.
You want to hear the funniest shit? I've actually been trying to work this into a bit. I have no idea how to do it, but this is like the nuts and bolts of it. I bought a book at Hot Topic when I was probably like 11, 12 years old, and it was called like the Book of Nod, and it had like all these like cool like demon things, like the story of like whatever. It like seemed really evil and cool, but I had it in my bag when I went to sleep over at my grandma's house. And I had it in the same compartment of the bag as like my Noxzema like anti-pimple wipes.
Oh no.
And then like the liquid from the pimple wipes like spilled out and like ruined the book, which is like the most angsty preteen thing, like anger that I ever had was whenever my cool evil book got ruined by my Noxzema wipes, which were actually like marketed to me by the WWF because they used to have like ads.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I don't know how to work that out, but it's a very funny situation whenever I think about it.
God damn. Yeah, I'd be salty the motherfucker too.
I think the ads were like Legions of Doom taking off their makeup.
I almost think you're right. I'm not saying that almost sounds like it could actually happen.
That would be
JVC Kaboom Box. But yeah, this sucks. I imagine the match is going to be good. And we'll talk about who we think is going to win with the predictions. There was Toni Storm and Mariah May, with Saraya and Harley Cameron. This was fine.
Poor Serena
like,
Deeb.
It was whatever. What's that?
I said, poor Serena Deeb. She's supposed to be the baby face in this angle, and you know, it's just like we said last week. You said it too. Toni Storm is so over that anybody across from her now is just, you know, public enemy number one. And everything that has been done in this storyline has kind of made Toni feel like Toni should be the heel. I mean, you know, she kind of disrespected Serena Deeb's flag, you know, cheesy as it may be. You know, you just don't do that. So Serena did what people, you know, should do when they feel disrespected. Even a babyface, you know. I wouldn't necessarily say I liked her attacking her from behind, but the shoe, being attacked with the shoe, I thought was, symbolic and, you know, in a way that kind of stood out as well. And fans just booed her ass. I was just like, damn, you know, what the fuck does anybody have to do across from Toni Storm to get over? That's why I keep saying Mariah May is the one person that I think fans would actually have to be like, okay, what the fuck are we getting ready to do kind of moment, because Mariah May is getting over just being next to Toni Storm. I think Mariah May is a really good wrestler too, but I think the main reason she's over is that she's Tony's sidekick, at least for now.
Also doesn't help that she's incredibly hot.
Stevie Wonder can see that. I was going to say, you know, to me that was like geometry. Here's the given. Now figure this shit out.
Yeah. But we can talk more about that matchup with predictions, and matchup that we never thought we could have predicted, but we could have predicted how bad it was going to be. Bryan Danielson versus Satnam Singh. This was a lot of smoke and mirrors with the Carnies, but goddamn, this was probably the worst Bryan Danielson match in AEW for sure. He probably had a worse match against like The Miz or something, but it's been a while.
Stop. No, man, no. I'm not going to allow you. I'm not going to allow you to disrespect The Miz like that. No, The Miz and Bryan Danielson, I'm sure had a better match than what this hot garbage was. Yeah. Hell no.
That ain't right.
That is not right. Nah, man.
Apologize to The Miz.
He'll be doing just fine with his playmate wife and his millions of dollars.
So actually, I ain't apologizing to no motherfucking body. Fuck Miz.
He's probably a cool guy, but I still got to rip on him because I think he sucks at wrestling. But I still think he's probably a great person. He seems like a really cool guy. I would love to hang out with him and talk wrestling. And also tell him that I don't think he's very good at it, but I'm glad that he does it.
Who do you think would have a better G1, The Miz or Roman Reigns?
Oh, my God, Roman Reigns by a mile.
Now, see, you just did that for your own personal pleasure, man. Fuck you. See, they ain't got
I'm not sure I'd buy it.
You ain't shit. Y'all motherfuckers are foul.
Who would you rather? That Satnam Singh is fucking huge, man.
It's not. It doesn't help.
I think Brian Keith would have a better G1 than The Miz.
I agree with that. Oh yeah, I'll agree with that.
I shouldn't be shitting on Brian Keith so much. I just brought it back around because it was a callback to what we were talking about earlier.
This is the Brian Keith episode 360.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, come find me, Brian Keith. It doesn't matter because you won't find me because you're the shittiest bounty hunter.
God damn, Brian Keith is just getting waylaid on 360.
It's
Jesus.
so good.
That doesn't make no damn sense.
Bounty Hunter's a cool gimmick, too.
It would be cooler if he actually got a bounty. There you go. I just jumped on. Satnam Singh is like, what, 8 feet tall? Danielson's barely 6 foot.
Oh,
so, I mean,
my God.
in that scenario.
It looked cartoonish.
Yeah, it's just, it was hard for me to even be like, okay, this is a deal. We're actually doing
But Daniel
this.
Bryan's he's a regular-sized dude, though. Like him, I mean, I know that he's not 6 foot tall, but he's a regular-sized person. I'm just saying, if that's what I would look like next to Satnam Singh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was the visual.
What does that guy look like next to Shaq?
They might have, Shaq might actually have to
R2-D2 and C-3PO.
To me, the match was what it was. Fast forward to the finish. That's what we're all here to, to ultimately see what was going to happen when Danielson was getting stomped out, who was going to come out and make the save. Now, I've seen plenty of saves in my time, but flamethrower, that's a new for me. I don't know why or who decided they wanted to come up with the flamethrower. So be it. I mean, if that's what it takes to, run the Elite off, I guess. I don't know. That was like the cherry on the top of an over-the-top finish. You know what I'm saying? Probably wasn't even needed, but I get why we did it.
To me, the flamethrower seemed like something that was probably a cooler idea when they were on a bunch of blow. Like when Tony Khan is geeked out of his mind and he's talking to his yes men. He's like, "Look, Darby Allin come out with a fucking flamethrower."
I love that Tony Khan was like dropping your son off at his first day at school.
Give him the pound or whatever. Go get him, champ.
Yeah.
Give him hell.
But if it was anybody else but Darby Allin, I would say that it was ridiculous. But Darby Allin comes out with a flamethrower, and I'm like, that's on brand.
Yeah,
he's the only,
right.
It's the only guy that it would make sense for.
Yeah. So at that point, I can't kill it, but it's just like, really, a flamethrower? Okay, all right, TK, do your thing, man. Shit, you a billionaire. Who the fuck about it?
Brian Keith comes out with a flamethrower. But he actually, it's facing the wrong way, and he actually shoots it backwards.
Oh my God, Brian Keith's on fire.
What a smart way to get your billionaire boss to buy you a flamethrower, though. Because that Darby probably took that home.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm not getting that motherfucker back. Are you kidding me? No. What flamethrower?
Flamethrowers peaked with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They'll never be that cool again.
I don't see no flamethrower.
But, so that's the go-home show. And, we can get into the predictions now or later.
We'll do it a little bit. Let's get to that 2 count. So we're going to go AEW, WWE, then we'll do predictions, then we'll do some odds and ends at the end.
Sounds good.
1, 2, 3.
JCB, what's the 2 count?
2 count. Obviously, we're going to talk a little WWE. Let's jump over to SmackDown on Friday night, where we had a couple of interesting Queen of the Ring matches. Obviously, we talked last week about Tiffany Stratton maybe not being on the card. At least that's what I heard. Surprisingly and pleasantly surprised, she was on the card. She faced Bianca Belair in the curtain jerker. Bianca goes over. Thought Tiffany Stratton kept up with Bianca just as easily. Well, I shouldn't say as easily, but it's just as well as anybody else could. I said Tiffany is the future. To me, just watching this match, being able to hang with Bianca, I guess better choice of words, I think speaks volumes. Her athleticism is just as good as Bianca's. Strength-wise, obviously, I think Bianca has the advantage there, but neither here nor there. I thought it was a really good curtain jerker to start. The right person goes over. Tiffany looks good in the L. And then, obviously, you would have possibly Jade versus Nia Jax in a Queen of the Ring semifinal. We can talk about this match if you guys want to.
I really
Go ahead.
do think Tiffany Stratton's the future also. And, yeah, super fun match. Nobody's going to lose in losing to either one of those women. They're both awesome. If Tiffany's going to losing to a superstar like Bianca, totally fine. Bianca's like the next Undertaker of WrestleMania streak. Like, okay, she lost on a freaking entry King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring thing. Totally fine.
Yep. No complaints to this. I think that the right person went over. They got to keep Bianca strong. So, yeah, I was cool with this. Pleasantly surprised to see Tiffany Stratton.
Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul come out for their contract signing. Logan Paul does something that I was kind of thinking about last week. If this was champion versus champion, he rips up the old contract, brings out a new one, and demands Cody signs it. And, of course, in classic babyface fashion, Cody signs it. He's ready to roll. I thought it was interesting that Cody said he was a future WWE Hall of Famer. Not saying he isn't, but I'm like, we just got past the Stardust, brother. Okay, let's just calm down on this Hall of Fame talk. Ultimately, I thought this was a really good segment on both sides of the fence. Logan Paul speaking of the future. I think he's a future world champion as much as people might not want to hear me say that or might not want to wrap their heads around it. I think he checks off all the boxes as what I feel like a world champion or face of the company should be. Easily recognizable in this scenario. He can talk on the stick. He's one of the better wrestlers in the ring, athletic as fuck. All the boxes to me are right there to be checked. I think this is just a way to get him over in the loss, but have him looked upon at some point as a future top-of-the-line superstar. He had backstage crossovers with LA Knight, and somebody else, I can't think of who else it was. Or LA Knight crossed over with Carmelo. We'll talk about that. But LA Knight and Logan Paul crossing paths backstage, I think is, foreshadowing of what could be possibly a SummerSlam match, but we'll see. But just for this contract signing, I think Logan Paul stood up with Cody Rhodes just as well as anybody else could.
Listen, I know that Cody Rhodes is going to win this match.
Yep.
But I appreciate them addressing the fact that the U.S. title, that Logan Paul holds the U.S. title, and it's not a title-for-title shot. I mean, it was already obvious that Cody's going to win. It's just more obvious now. But the segment was money. Logan Paul is money. Looking forward to this match.
Yeah, I think the match is going to be super fun. I really like the segment. I was texting you guys, like I said last week, I think they missed an opportunity to have Cody be that Grand Slam champion and turn that belt into the American Nightmare belt and just put his giant neck tattoo right as a main faceplate of the belt, kind of like Austin Smoking Skull, but be Cody's, I don't know, Transformer fucking nightmare. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like Transformers.
No, that would be a no, Alex. Hell no.
And I was like, and then like sell those belts. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter anyway. But like you said, it just makes it more obvious that he's going to win.
Talked about Logan Paul and LA Knight backstage. LA Knight and Carmelo have words backstage. I would be curious to see if those two cross paths. I think that would be an interesting match, no matter what you guys think about LA Knight. Next up, you had Tama Tonga versus the aforementioned LA Knight in a King of the Ring quarterfinal match. Tama Tonga goes over. He goes over clean. I thought was the biggest thing coming out of this, especially when you had the Bloodline out and about watching over Tama Tonga's back. Tama Tonga marching his way to the semifinals. He doesn't look different. It's just a different Tama Tonga, if that makes sense. In ring, he's still the same guy, just his character, whatever he was mumbling to himself backstage before the match, that part is different. The in-ring work is still the same guy.
Well, he's in a story.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
Go ahead.
Oh, I did. Yeah, he was like, I don't know, maybe it was just like a one-off thing. Maybe this is going to be like his main character trait. But yeah, he seemed like he was just like, I don't know, the Tasmanian devil or something back there.
Yeah, isn't he? He's from Tasman, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But Like,
I can't deal with you right now. I just can't.
I'm reading about James Cook, Captain James Cook. I got see a Tasman on the mind. He's Polynesian.
Are you reading that book?
Yeah, the Wide Sea.
Yeah. Kristen just read that. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Cool.
LA and Carmelo backstage again. Nia Jax promo, Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes promo. So it leads into Nia Jax versus Jade, the alternate Queen of the Ring quarterfinal match. Obviously, the winner gets Bianca Belair. I shouldn't say that. It was a semifinal match. Neither here nor there. Winner gets Bianca Belair. Obviously, it was there to have Jade and Bianca to face off. I didn't necessarily have a problem with the finish just because it puts off Jade and Bianca for an extended period of time because obviously they're the tag team champs. Jade loses by disqualification because she whacks Nia Jax with the chair.
She's so mad.
Yeah, I was going to say protects Jade in this scenario because she does take the loss, but it's obviously by disqualification. This was okay. I thought, we could have drug this out a little bit longer, at least time-wise, but ultimately it got the job done that I think they wanted to do. Nia Jax advances, Jade takes a loss, and I'll use that in quotation marks, and now you have Nia Jax versus a wounded Bianca Belair. Winner goes to face Lyra Valkyria, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, at Saudi for the Queen of the Ring final. So obviously you can talk about Nia Jax beating Jade in a...
I don't want to ruin my predictions, but, I think Nia Jax is going to win the whole thing. I think that she's going to be Queen of the Ring. So this makes sense. I think that she goes over Bianca in a similar fashion. And I think that she beats Lyra Valkyria. But that's for predictions. That's mine. There's a little nugget for you guys.
Three Beer, any thoughts on Nia going over Jade or what's to come with Jade and Bianca?
When I saw these were lined up, it was almost like in my head, whoever wins this was winning the whole thing. And I'm not mad about how it happened. Like, the story wrinkle is fine. It seems less cheap than, like, whenever Vince was doing DQs, like, just all the fucking time. It was like, hey, we'll put together a match, we'll just DQ because we never should have put this match together to begin with.
Right. Yes.
Hunter's not doing that nearly as much, so this is fine.
Triple H doesn't use it very much at all, really.
It's one of the few times that I can think of, and, I'm sure it's been done, in the Triple H era, so to speak, but yeah, it's definitely gone away from.
Man, Vince would have DQs all the time.
Yeah,
they wouldn't even announce a winner.
Like,
you remember those 3 weeks where he just decided that the matches should not take place during commercials, so they needed to come up with wonky ways to have the match stop and then restart after the commercial.
Yeah, I do remember that. What a goofball.
God damn.
Fucking insanity.
Just hire on your own supply.
I do not. Go ahead.
Just if he ever just has, if he's ever just gassy one day, he's probably just sitting. He probably doesn't have a closet small enough to really enjoy his own farts. He probably just has to, just fart right into a wine glass so that he can sniff it.
You ain't shit, dude. God damn. DIY defeats Umberto and Angel. Just waiting for DIY to get their chance at some point, some fashion. I thought one of the two interesting segments coming up before the main event, AJ Styles trying to figure out what's next, and then the Wyatt family segment where you had, I guess, a psychologist, better choice of words, asking questions to someone in a first-person angle. I'm not sure. Have you done the QR codes to follow this at all?
No.
Three Beer, have you done the QR codes? I'm assuming not as well.
No.
Okay, so I said I'm assuming not. I mean, you a grown ass man. God damn, you about to come through the motherfucking phone on a nigga. So obviously,
that sounds so aggressive.
yeah, it's like, no, I got shit to do. So obviously this is all interconnected and it's just dropping with nuggets. I haven't looked at the QR codes either, but it's all building up to some crescendo where the Wyatt family is reborn in some form or fashion. Where is this going to happen? Is this going to happen Clash the Castle? Is this Saudi? Is this SummerSlam? Where's your best guess to where the Wyatt 6, I guess, is what they're going to be called, is going to make their first step out of appearance?
SummerSlam. What? No, what's next after Queen and King of the Ring?
Clash of the Castle, I believe, is next.
When's Money in the Bank?
After Clash, I think.
I was going to say.
I don't think that they're coming out.
That would go to SummerSlam is on August.
SummerSlam seems like a really far way away.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know.
3 beer A guesses?
I don't even have a guess.
Yeah, it seems weird. Maybe Clash, because it seems so weird to do it in Saudi, because that's just like such a. I mean, they're better than they used to be.
Well,
but they used to
I mean, Saudi is where Bray Wyatt lost to Goldberg in 3 minutes.
Jesus Christ, dude! I mean, come on, man.
He's not wrong.
Look, okay, on the. Is this the day or like within the last 24, 48 hours of Bray Wyatt's passing? That's what you're going to fucking bring up?
I'm not making fun of Bray. I'm saying it's not really good on the Rotunda family. It's not really a happy place. It's where he lost to fucking Goldberg.
Okay, so let's try to wipe the state off. The rise of the Wyatt 6. No, I have no idea. I was getting ready to say this feels like a very slow burning angle where Triple H is going to take his time with this. I can't say I'm curious.
All right,
but
don't take too much time. All right.
Ultimately, yeah, because for me, I'm already on the waning interest to begin with. You just keep dropping nuggets, I still won't care until something actually happens. That's just me. Main event on SmackDown, King of the Ring tournament match. You had Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. Obviously, Carmelo Hayes winning last week over Baron Corbin. Falls to Randy Orton this week. I thought we were making fun of Saddam Singh and Brian Danielson's size. This is where, as much as I think we all like Carmelo Hayes, when he was standing across from Randy Orton, I think that's going to be his biggest hurdle on the main roster.
He's little.
He's a little guy, and he's going to have to. His character and his in-ring are going to have to be twice as good to overcome his size. Don't get me wrong. I like Carmelo Hayes. I thought he was great on NXT, but this was the first time on the main roster I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a thing, because Randy Orton is, a typical main roster kind of guy, big, tall, strong. So Carmelo is always going to look like the smaller guy. Maybe he needs someone to, he needs a heater maybe. Obviously Trick's not around, so maybe that might be a thing, but to me, that's going to be Carmelo Hayes' biggest hurdle, is that his size is going to be. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. No.
Omos.
No. Don't you start giggling, motherfucker. No.
They should do an angle where Carmelo Hayes is MVP's son.
Dude, Vince would have called Carmelo up, and he would have, called him, Elmer. And made him like a school janitor or something.
He would definitely just be Carmelo by now.
Yes.
Yeah.
There would be no
Hayes. It couldn't be Hayes because there's Michael P.S. Hayes, and we would get the two confused.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and safely say I'm not going to get those two motherfuckers confused. Let's jump over to...
I also know what word Michael Hayes probably uses to describe Carmelo Hayes.
Talent?
Yeah. Talent.
Alpha Academy opens up Raw to start the show. Chad Gable addressing the Alpha Academy left and right. Sami Zayn comes out to, I guess, not even to make the save, but they have a match set up to go after the Alpha Academy segment. Chad Gable was doing just amazing work as a heel. I know he was a heel before. The shush, it was funny. This feels like it's drawing heat on Chad Gable, and it's getting Otis back over as a sympathetic feel.
It's doing both of those things. Did you hear what the crowd was chanting with Chad Gable's music at the end?
You suck.
They were giving him the you suck.
That's the ultimate, tip of the cap, the nod of the head.
It really is, because they've never used Angle's name. It's never been overtly Angle. It's
Correct.
just Angle vibe.
Yes.
Big time. And he also looks like him.
For sure. Obviously,
and the American thing, so the crowd picking up on that and then giving them the you suck, I mean, it's what I've been saying for years. Like, why wasn't Chad Gable Kurt Angle's son? That could still be kayfabe.
I think you already kind of fucked it up.
I know.
Jason Jordan has entered the chat.
Damn. It was right there.
It was right there.
And the crowd's going to do it anyway.
No, I think
they should bring Angle back and be like, I got the wrong Alpha Academy birth certificate here. My bad.
They did a switch. And they took referee.
And have Kurt Angle be like, I thought it was weird that he was black because I've never slept with a black woman. But, I just kind of rolled with it because the kid looked like he needed a dad.
I mean, what the fuck, dude? There's white kids out here with no dads, too. Goddamn.
Hey, no, this is not a racial thing.
I know. I had to fuck with you for 30 seconds. LWO has a segment, not even really worth talking about. It's more so for Rey Mysterio. Braun Breaker just killed some poor jobber. I can't even remember what his first name was. Cale Dixon, thank you very much. The chair shot on the steel steps. I know he didn't hit him hit him in the head with that chair shot, but just the visual of it.
Can we just talk about how fucking badass Braun Breaker is now?
I love the angle because you see, okay, you didn't put me in the King of the Ring, bet. Now these motherfuckers are going to start paying.
That's all it takes in wrestling, man. He's got one little grievance, and that's enough to have a character go on a fucking spree for the next couple of weeks. Zach, where you at on Braun Breaker?
Couldn't have done him better, this week. He looked, dude, I felt so bad for that guy. The crowd wanted, the only reason the crowd was booing was because the referee stopped the match and he could not continue to kill this guy. They love him.
Dude was working. Yeah. They fucking love him, and he's pissed off at fucking Adam Pearce, the ineffectual. Well, he's not ineffectual, but Zach, last week, did you like my Mirror Knees Not comparison with the LWO LDF stuff?
It's over my head. I'm unfamiliar with the reference.
So George R.R. Martin, he always talks about how he rode himself into a corner.
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah, because they were all in Marine, and he's like, I don't know how to get these characters out of here. He's like, I wrote myself into a corner. It's the Mirror Knees Not. That's where we're at right now with the LWO and Legado del Fantasma.
I love that.
They can't write themselves out of it.
No, they're interconnected no matter what. I don't know. I guess it is what it is. I want Ray and Dom again. That's it. Outside of that, I can care less what you do with the LWO. That's just me. Lyra Valkyria versus Io Sky in the Raw side of the Queen of the Ring. This was the semifinal match. Winner goes on to Saudi. Lyra Valkyria pulls the upset, beats Io Sky. I didn't expect this coming. I just assumed this was going to be Lyra Valkyria losing in a strong fashion, but surprise, surprise. Io takes the L, says some words, going out of the ring to Lyra Valkyria, but Lyra Valkyria going on to Saudi. Was this a surprise to you, Bill?
Yes, it was a surprise to me. I thought that she would have a good showing, and she would eventually fall to Io Sky. This match was 19 minutes long. They let these gals go, and go they did. Io Sky, I'm such a mark. She fucking rules, man. She's the real deal. They really did her a disservice with her title run, I thought. I know she had the title, and that's what the rebuttal to that would be. But, yeah, this surprised me. How about you, Zach?
Yeah, especially because she had just got off the title run. kind of a pleasant surprise at the same time. Kind of goes to show that they're pretty high on Lyra Valkyria, which is cool. Like, there's a whole reason that NXT exists, and it is to invest in the future and to prepare future stars. And it's cool to see them actually doing that. Because, again, like, a million reasons to shit on Vince, but I just keep shitting on his booking over, like, the past, 5 years. Like, how many times do we have amazing characters in NXT come up, established stars in NXT, and he would ruin them within 3 weeks?
Bobby Roode, excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, you can see that affected Hunter, and he is not doing that. Whenever somebody shows promise and they're giving them the run in NXT, they're calling them up, and they're calling them up as stars, and they're elevating them. And that doesn't mean they win every match. That doesn't, they're still going to 50-50 to some stuff. They're still going to lose to some top stars on the card, like see Bianca pinning like Tiffany, and that is not the end of the world at all. That's just business. It's just good business. So, yeah, pleasant surprise.
They brought Tiffany up, and they put her in a title match right away, and it says to the audience, hey, we know that you like this person. This is somebody that we also take seriously. So I wouldn't say that she's made, but she will be very soon.
Oh, yeah.
Unless she has an OnlyFans. unless she pulls a Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose, yeah. I can't wait to see her face down Charlotte. Just the promos between those two, let alone the match.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's that. I was just thinking about, Charlotte, under normal circumstances, we would be like, where's Charlotte at? Where's Charlotte at? We have not even remotely brought her up on this pod in a hot minute.
Nope.
In a hot minute.
Doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, I finally have my 4 horsewomen ranked. It's Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha, Becky.
That's way different than what you said before. Didn't you have Charlotte last?
I didn't have. I was joking about Charlotte being last, just to kind of get some heat from you guys. But
mission accomplished.
Becky is fucking abysmal at promos. Like,
yeah, Becky's no fun to watch.
She's the worst fucking. Like her just talking. Like, it sounds really terrible. It's gonna sound really sexist. Like, her talking just is such a turnoff, and I mean that not in like a sexual sense. I just mean like she is. This is her character. She goes, this tough guy talk all the time, and I'm the man, and blah, 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 the New York Times bestseller. And she's always trying to make jokes, and she's not funny.
Yeah.
She's the fucking worst. She's also the biggest star out of all of them.
So eat on that, 3 Beer. Talking that shit. Ricochet and Dragunov confront each other backstage, and unfortunately, I was wondering why Ricochet was looking so good and talking that shit, talking tall shit. I'm like, Ricochet usually just doesn't get booked this strong. What's up with that? And then I found out the reason why. He just gets speared into next week by Braun Breaker. Not sure if it was meant for Dragunov. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Obviously, Braun Breaker and Dragunov have NXT ties, but Ricochet taking the bullets for Dragunov and getting speared into next week. I'm like, God damn, Ricochet just cannot just consistently stay over on the main roster for shit. Wins the speed title, never see that shit. Loses matches, good matches on TV, doesn't get pushed afterwards, and now here's a spear for your troubles. Thoughts on Braun Breaker destroying Ricochet backstage? Just gave a thumbs up. 3 Beer, thoughts on Braun Breaker destroying Ricochet?
Really perfect. I used to think that Ricochet was underutilized in WWE, and I really kind of think he's just on the perfect spot. Like, he's just not that guy. He's really athletic, and he can put on a good match, and he's utilized perfectly. And
I think he's a very valuable guy for them to have on the roster and to give TV time to. He can always have a good match. People are behind him. He never has to be a heel. His moveset is so fucking babyface. And, yeah, I agree. Braun Breaker fucking murdered him.
He really did.
It's like, God damn, dude.
Fucking ruled, man.
Gunther with a nice segment. Like I said before, I think Gunther is the next up and coming heel. He's
the empty arena, that was cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Baron Corbin with a nice little segment backstage. Not sure where we're going with Baron Corbin yet, but we'll see that. Surprise, surprise, Sonya Deville returns to WWE, and then specifically Raw in this case, sees Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler backstage. Zoe speaks, Shayna doesn't. TBA on what's that to come, but I do like the fact that Sonya Deville is back. I thought her character was really good until the point where some stalker decided that he wanted to fuck over her life, but that's another story for another time. Awesome Truth retains over JD McDonough and Finn Balor. I guess this is a good place to stop here. I don't know. I'm kind of at the point where I'm good on Awesome Truth. I think we've kind of gotten to the point where they've defended the titles a couple of times. Maybe I think this might be the third title defense. It was fun to get to this point. I'm glad they won the titles. R-Truth, like I said, still funny as a character. I'm at the point now where I'm kind of ready for the Creeds or whomever it is. I'm assuming it's the Creeds, at least in my heart. I want it to be the Creeds because it would just kind of go with the whole Team Gable kind of motif we got going on here. Somebody's got to take the titles off of Awesome Truth. Ultimately, that's where I'm going with it. This match was fine against JD and Finn, but if we're going to try to take the tag team title seriously, we got to take them off of Awesome Truth.
Yeah, I mean, I should have known they were going to win just to get the crowd pop at Mania, but I like Truth a lot, and I think Miz is a great on-screen character, but I want the tag titles to be more than this, and I feel the exact same way.
Yeah, it really defines them down. Truth getting the pop at Mania makes all the sense in the world.
All for it.
Should have lost at Raw the next night. The old Zack Ryder.
God damn, dog.
There you go.
Damn. I was about to say, niggas can't even get a title defense. I mean, what the fuck? Lyra Valkyria and Liv Morgan.
The old Sasha Banks.
Tell him when he's telling lies. Lyra Valkyria and Liv Morgan confront each other backstage. Becky gets her receipt from the week before. Becky comes out. Liv comes out again. I guess this is where Liv decides she wants to get in the ring, but then doesn't. Where are we standing on Becky versus Liv? I know you guys are not huge Becky Lynch fans, but what's your level of excitement for Liv versus Becky and Saudi? We'll start with Bill first.
0.
Damn. 3 beer?
Yeah, I don't really care that much. Like, I'll watch it, but like, I'm not interested in it.
It's gonna be on there in the daytime, so I'm definitely gonna watch it.
I'm definitely gonna be folding laundry or doing dishes.
Exactly. Definitely gonna be folding laundry.
I say if I got depending on the match breakdown, this might be the shower match for myself, but that's just me. Another.
You gonna bring it into the shower with you though, because that's something that I mean.
Look, man, you gotta say you trying to get me caught up. What's wrong with you? Karrion Kross catches Xavier Woods backstage.
Unbelievable where this podcast goes. Fucking unbelievable.
Let's say you the motherfucker that's supposed to keep this together. Me and Zach are the adolescents apparently. Karrion Kross catches Xavier Woods backstage. Same message he says to Kofi. What does this mean?
That they're getting ready to feud. I think they're just trying to tell a long story, and they're just getting ready to feud. Like, I don't think that Karrion Kross is trying to turn the New Day evil or anything like that. They're just getting ready to feud.
3 beer, is this just a setup for the feud?
This didn't even pop up on my Hulu version, I don't think. And I'm fine with it not showing up.
It's amazing Karrion Kross didn't pop up on the shortened version.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's fucking comedy. Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler win the Fatal 4-Way. They'll get a title shot. I'm assuming it's against, well, I shouldn't say I'm assuming there's one women's tag team titles. They'll get Jade and Bianca at some point down the line. They didn't say. Main event, Gunther beats Jey Uso to head to the King of the Ring finals. He will face the winner of Randy Orton and Tama Tonga.
There was a part of me that thought that Jey Uso might win this and that they were going to do Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. And then when Gunther won, I was like, yeah, why did I ever doubt it?
Nope. I never thought it.
Pleasantly surprised.
I thought this was one of Jay's better matches, but I think that's credit to Gunther, because I think I hold Gunther to such a level where he can start elevating other people around him make them have a better match. That's just me. I will say this about Jey Uso, though. I don't know if the narrative has come out, but I'll just say it. Jey Uso's kind of been the hard luck loser a lot. You know, a lot of title matches that maybe he shouldn't have had, maybe he shouldn't have had, but he lost those title matches.
I would describe him as the WWE version of Brian Keith.
3-Beer, what'd you think about the main event?
Well, pleasantly surprised about the Gunther win, because Jey Uso is the number one babyface on the brand right now. Like, Rollins is hurt. Punk's hurt. So as far as like guys, like, he's the top babyface. So really kind of cool that they had Gunther beat him. Also, Gunther as like the King of the Ring sounds awesome. Not saying that's my prediction, but that sounds awesome. Pretty interesting.
Yep. I think it's awesome they beat Jey Uso.
Yeah, I was going to say another submission / referee stoppage, whatever you want to call it. I love the fact that Gunther is stopping matches versus pinning guys. To me, that just adds another layer, like I said last week, of just mystique to Gunther. You know, he was already pretty much being booked as this unstoppable force. Now you're bringing this other level of a submission game to this shit. Gunther's just going to be that dude coming up. 2024 could be the year of Gunther.
Yes. I mean, we might be entering the era of Gunther.
Very well could be, especially on the Raw side where he's positioned. It's not like anybody that's opposite Cody Rhodes is like the same way it was against opposite of Roman Reigns. You know Cody ain't dropping the title the same way that Roman ain't dropping the title anytime soon. So the opposite champion is probably going to be the champion that's going to be not in rotation, but Damian Priest is going to lose at some point. You know, whoever he loses to will hold the title for a few months. Somebody else will beat him, hold the title for a few months.
So something I saw on Wikipedia today when I was writing down stuff for predictions was that the winner of King of the Ring gets their brand's title shot at SummerSlam.
Yep, saw that too.
So King of the Ring is basically the first half of the year's Royal Rumble. I mean, if you win the Royal Rumble, you get a shot at the title at WrestleMania. If you win King of the Ring, you get a shot at the title at SummerSlam. That's fucking badass.
It means, you know, it takes away the comedic part of King of the Ring under the Vince regime.
Oh, yeah. It makes it a way bigger deal. You get the guaranteed main event at SummerSlam?
Yeah. SummerSlam going to be 2 nights in 2026. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. I think that's huge.
Gunther will hold every title in the company at that SummerSlam. There's going to be 8 Gunther matches. SmackDown tag, Raw tag,
Women's
tag, Women's, IC,
Gunther
US.
ain't leaving. Just bring on the next motherfucker. I mean, damn.
He's just slapping titties. That's the curtain jerker. Is him just slapping titties.
Yep. FTW. He's got every belt.
You ain't shit. No, I agree with you totally. I think the fact that it is for the title, it means that much more. It makes things more interesting, especially if they do this going forward, which is my hope. King Gunther sounds great, but him going for the title against Damian Priest or Drew McIntyre or whomever it is, the champion at the time, I think that would be an amazing match. And like I said, it's just the fact that we're even getting away from the whole Vince regime of just silly, King of the Rings and now making it feel like it's more important. That's just Triple H just, like I said last week, all he's doing over there is just cooking, sauteing this shit over here. I got some shit on the grill over here. We're going to get these appetizers out. He is doing work, and I'm sorry. I think WWE right now is just hitting on all cylinders. I cannot wait for Saturday afternoon. Maybe not one of my favorite shows. I said it's the other WrestleMania because of how much money it draws in, but nonetheless, it should be an interesting show nonetheless.
All right, that's going to do it for our 2 counts.
1, 2, 3.
All right, we're going to do our Double or Nothing predictions. So I'm going to do these in the order that they came on Wikipedia. We already started this, but we're having to re-record right now. So Jason, Will Ospreay, or Roderick Strong? I don't know why I just gave him the peek behind the curtain, man. Should have left it mysterious.
Yeah, that's what I say, because now I'm starting to rethink my pick. No, I'm going to stick to the same pick I had. I'm taking Will Ospreay. I really want Bryan to win, but I just think Will Ospreay just makes a little too much sense. If you want to swerve me, fine, you swerve me. I just think that Will is just going to win until it's time for him to lose. Maybe in a bigger title spot against Swerve at Wembley is my guess, but I'm going to take Will Ospreay. I just can't change my pick.
Who do you got, Zach?
I thought it might be interesting if Roddy lost and Will went undefeated. Maybe Wardlow failed to keep the belt on Roddy, so then there was more heat on Wardlow from Adam Cole and all that. But I do think it'd be more interesting if Roderick Strong wins in a fuckery manner and costs Will Ospreay, and that's a lot of heat because people love Will Ospreay and expect him to win. So I think Roderick Strong is going to win with fuckery in the upset of the week.
Fucker.
I'm taking Little Bill Ospreay here. I'm going to pick him, even though I think that he is bigger than this belt. I think that they're going to do the same thing they did with Okada, which is what you would have told them to do before Okada and Ospreay came in. You would have said, hey, you need to take those 2 guys and put belts on them as soon as you can. So I'm taking Will Ospreay. Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb for the Women's Championship, Women's World Championship. Zach, who do you got?
It's really nice of Applebee's to let Serena Deeb off to take this match on a holiday weekend. They're going to be slammed.
God damn. God damn, you ain't shit. What the fuck, man?
Toni Storm.
God, fuck. You ain't shit, dude. I say this motherfucker is rubbed off on you in all the wrong ways. I don't care if you guys are fucking.
You know Tina's going to call out and they're going to be shorthanded.
Say that drunk ass bitch Tina can't get out of the bed.
They're having dollar margs right now. It's dollar margs.
Dude, it's so true.
God damn, y'all are horrible. Go ahead, motherfucker. Make the pick.
Who you got, Zach?
Oh, yeah, I picked Tony. I'm sorry.
I'm going to take Tony.
Stone Cold Bud Pipe Log of the Week.
I'm going to take Toni Storm. They are the crowd is kind of turning on Deeb, and
I said that.
So they would do well. I mean, maybe this would be. I mean, it would be cool if they just made Toni Storm a total babyface, had Mariah May betray her and join up with Deeb or something, and then have Toni Storm lose the belt here. But I don't think it's going to happen. I'm taking Toni Storm.
No, I got to take Tony as well. It just, I don't know, can we bring back Jamie Hayter? I mean, at this point, we're running out of people for Tony to beat. I mean, Mercedes feels like she's a bit ways from the title at this point. So, I would just like to see, anyone, be able to stand across from Toni Storm and not be booed mercilessly like poor Serena Deeb was on Wednesday night. But, neither here nor there in this scenario. Got to take Tony. Stone Cold that pipe lock of the week.
Zach, can you hear us?
Yep. Sorry,
Okay.
That was my bad.
All good. Next up, we have Edge versus Malachi Black for the TNT Championship in a barbed wire steel cage match. A little torn on this one. This is the one that I think that we could actually see some fuckery, but I also think, fuck, I'm taking Edge. Who you got, Jason?
I said before we had to re-record. This is one of 3 matches that I would consider as an upset of the week special. Zach took one. This is another. It's a coin flip because Edge is who he is, or Adam Copeland is who he is. It just feels like this is the right pick. But Malachi Black, I want him to do more. I feel like he should be more. This feels like a right spot for him to win. You got House of Black, lurking in it's right there.
So who are you taking?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Malachi Black in the upset special of the week. There you go.
Love it. Who you got, Zach?
I love that. I do agree with Jason that this does seem like a total coin flip. This is really hard because
that's what
I
she
don't know.
said.
I think I'm going to go Edge, though. I'm going Edge.
All right. Next up in the championship eliminator match. So it's not for the championship. We have Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. Who do you got, Jason?
This is going to be really good. No doubt about it. Takeshita will bring the goods. Moxley is Moxley. I don't know. I feel bad for Takeshita because I just feel like he's going to lose. I'm picking Moxley.
Zach, who do you got?
Moxley.
Wow, that is surprising that both of you took Moxley so assuredly there. So why are they having, this is what we were talking about earlier. Why are they having the championship eliminator match on a pay-per-view if they're not going to have the challenger win? I think this, at least I'll speak for myself, the championship eliminator match, it doesn't really always feel like it's supposed to have the challenger win. It's, to me, it's like a showcase. We're showcasing, in this case, Takeshita. Okay? If they really wanted Takeshita to be a number 1 contender like they have Evil, they would have just done it. They're not doing it. They're doing this to fill the card, which is fine. We're going to get a good match out of this. Dare I say great? Yeah. I guess I just want you guys to take Takeshita so I could take Moxley, because I thought that I was going to be be swimming upstream on this one.
No. I took Malachi Black. That's my fucking grenade for the week.
All right, Zach.
I bet against Will Ospreay. So. That's the only one I'm giving.
That's true.
You can eat a dick, motherfucker.
I have not made a ballsy pick yet. I keep going in these things and being like, but I got a 1-point lead. I'm protecting it. Next up, I want to hear from least to most. Shibata versus Hook versus Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree, for the World Championship. Zach, you're up first.
Yeah, somebody who likes this shit can go first.
I am fully in the Jericho vortex, and I think it's going to be Shibata least, Hook second to least. If Hook wins the FTW title back, he's just going to have it forever. So he's got to distance him from it. It's going to be Chris Jericho walking away with this thing.
I have the exact same order. Jason's nodding his head. Same order.
Same order.
Okay.
Got to get Hook away from the FTW title.
The Bang Bang Gang versus Death Triangle for the unified trios belts. I'm up first here, so I'm taking the Bang Bang Gang. I'm into this match. Death Triangle fucking rules. Jay White fucking rules. I love the entrance. I'm taking the Bang Bang Gang. Makes sense.
God damn. I really want to take Death Triangle. I just don't see them doing anything with Jay White. I'll take Bang Bang Gang, Bullet Club Gold, whatever we're calling them nowadays. I just hope for it's a good match. Hopefully it's not in the buy-in portion of the program, so that way it gets 10, 15 minutes. This deserves time. If we're going to have 15 matches, I want this match to get some time in this motherfucker.
Ass boys need to bump. Zach, who you got?
I hope it is in the buy-in. Also, I don't really care because I'm not watching this live. So,
yeah, I know.
I get the Bang Bang Gang. And you know what? I got to say, overall, I'm not watching this live. I'm camping on Sunday. I'm not even mad about it. I expect the pay-per-view to be really good, but at the same time, there isn't anything on here that I feel like I have to see like immediately.
Agreed.
Up next, Jason, you are up first. Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. Who you got?
I was thinking about this watching Dynamite last night, and I was, now I'm invested in this way so more than I was beforehand because there was actual physicality. We saw Mercedes take a bump, and that to me felt like, okay, now we're getting into, this, the juices are flowing for this match to get good. I expect it to be just as good as their first match. I expect Willow to just ragdoll Mercedes in certain spots, but I think this is where we finally see Mercedes heal it up for the dub. I got Mercedes Moné winning the TBS Championship.
Okay, so I went in a little different direction here. I think that Willow Nightingale is going to win, and I think that she's going to win cheaply in some kind of roll-up situation, and Mercedes Moné is going to flip her shit and do some damage to Willow Nightingale, maybe with some help from somebody. I don't know. I'm taking Willow Nightingale.
This is ballsy pick.
There it is. There it is.
Who you got, Zach?
I got Mercedes, even though I feel like she should be going for the other belt. They brought her in. They paid her a lot of money. And this is her first match, and I just don't see her losing her first match, but I like your story. Dig it.
The Elite versus Team AEW in an Anarchy in the Arena match. Zach, who you got?
I'd have to go back in history. I feel like the faces usually win these things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not going to be the case this time. I think it's going to be the Elite. I don't know who's going to get the pin. If I had to guess, I'd say Okada.
Who you got, Jason?
I think you're right on history with the Anarchy in Arena match. I think there's, been 2 or 3 baby faces that won them all. I'm with Zach on this one. This feels like the Empire Strikes Back moment for the Elite, where their star power just kind of just overshines, and this is no disrespect to FTR or Bryan Danielson, but Okada, Bucks, greater than FTR, Danielson. This feels like the right time to keep the heel momentum going for the Bucks and Okada, Jack Perry as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jack Perry get the dub on this one. I'm taking the Elite.
Yeah, I'm taking the Elite, too, for all the reasons that you guys stated. I'm looking forward to the match.
Yes, and our Anarchy in the Arena is probably one of my least favorite steps to come in, but then the last 2 or 3, they've always they converted me. So in that scenario, I'm ready for it.
Even the pandemic one where they were like on the football field and Hangman did that like 80-yard lariat.
No.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. No, that's not the one I'm talking about.
And then finally we have Swerve versus Christian for the belt. This is my Stone Cold Lead Pipe lock of the week. They're not putting the belt on Christian here. I am taking Swerve Strickland but will be a shit show.
I don't know if it's going to be a shit show, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fuckery. Yeah, I expect Swerve to be swimming upstream all the way to defending the title. But here's my only thing, and this is completely, off topic of the match itself. Zach, what's your pick? I'm assuming you're taking Swerve as well.
Yep.
Okay, so AEW has announced this as one of 3 main events: Anarchy in the Arena, the TBS title, and now the AEW Championship. Is it me? Is this a knock against Swerve, or am I just looking to get something to be mad about?
I don't think so. I think it's not a strong contender. I think it's, if anything, it's a knock against Christian Cage.
Why do you say that? 'Cause, Christian Cage, I think, is obviously one of the biggest heels in AEW, arguably the biggest heel. Just for me, and this is just me, I'm never a big fan of double main events, triple main events. Just pick a fucking title. The title match should be the main event.
They have to make Sasha Banks seem like a big deal. They have to call her
then
match
whose
a
fucking fault is
event.
that?
Well, it's not that big of a deal for them to say there's 3 main events. Who
I just
gives
think
a shit?
it's just silly. Okay, to me, the AEW Championship should be the main event. If you want to throw Anarchy in the Arena in there, okay, I'm willing to give you that slide too. Plenty of stars in that motherfucker that's going to be crazy.
Mercedes Monet's a big star, man.
I got to say, there are probably less than 5%. I think that's even being very conservative. Less than 5% of people buying this for Christian versus Swerve. It's going to be one or the other matches.
So everybody's taking Swerve.
Everybody's taking Swerve.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the Queen and King of the Ring that's taking place in Saudi Arabia. Did you guys see that a new big report came out in the Atlantic this week that the government of Saudi Arabia was actually way more integral in planning 9/11 than previously thought, and the main head guy, the guy that was like kind of running the whole deal, was the ambassador to the United States from Saudi Arabia, and he was real big buddies with the Bush presidents. So Saudi Arabia actually did 9/11. It's like this huge report that came out. Anyway, WWE is going to be in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia this weekend, playing for the government.
Oh, man.
You know, doing their little carny dance. They're shaking their thing for the guy that did 9/11. Anyway, you know. I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, right. We have to. It's for the pod.
Just those are just two things that are happening at in the news at the
well
time.
Played, sir.
Yeah.
Well played.
Anyway, we have. So this is the order that it came in. You guys have to. We are going to do a point for who is going to win Friday night also, because there are two different semifinals, Queen and King of the Ring matches. So first up, we have Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga on SmackDown. Jason, who do you got?
How can you get away from Orton versus Gunther for the King of the Ring final? I like Tama Tonga. Don't get me wrong. I would be pissed if we don't get Orton versus Gunther. I'm taking Randy Orton on fan principle alone. I would not be surprised if Tama Tonga won. I'd be pissed if he won, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Zach, who do you got?
Yeah, it's going to be Randy Orton. Even with bloodline, it's fine for Tama to lose to the Legend Killer, and he's just a much bigger star.
And then, okay, so we all have Randy Orton. I'm taking the same thing. If Jey Uso would have won, obviously he would have gone.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the women's, we got Nia Jax versus Bianca Belair. I'll go first because I already said it. I think that Nia Jax is going to win this. Who do you got, Zach?
Yeah, same. I got Nia.
Jason?
I want to be contrarian, but they've been playing the injured left knee up for the last 2 weeks, and that'll be the Achilles heel, for a lack of a better term. I'll agree. I'll take Nia Jax as well.
Okay, Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship, or whatever the fuck it's called.
No, you got it. Everything on the Raw is the World's Championship in some form or fashion. Obviously, minus the IC title. I'll go first. That's fine. This could be the upset special of the week, whether you like it or not. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. No. I would like to, because I think Liv Morgan is in position to usurp Becky, help take over Judgment Day moving forward. Then you have Rhea come back, who has the title, her arch enemy, Liv Morgan, or one of them in this scenario. I'm not going to do it. I think they play it conservatively. I'm taking Becky Lynch.
SAWFT. Soft. Who do you got, Zach?
Oh man, this is tough because you know what? I'm gonna put it out there.
I like it.
I'm gonna say Liv, even though I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a long shot. But I like the idea of Rhea coming back and winning it off Liv because she hurt her. So
I don't think it's a long shot. I really don't.
We are mixing it up. I'm taking Becky Lynch.
This motherfucker here talking shit.
Next. From least to most, Zach, I want to hear about Sami Zayn versus Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship. Who do you got least to most?
Least is Bronson Reed, I think, even though I think he would be a good Intercontinental champ. I just don't think, he's I wouldn't say a more recent introduction. He didn't enter into the mix like more recently, but I feel like the real meat and potatoes of this thing is Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. I think if one of them's going to win, it's going to be one of those two, and Bronson's more of just a wild card. That said, as cool as it would be, Chad's doing great work. I feel like Sammy's going over to Saudi to lose. I'm taking Sami Zayn. So Bronson, Chad, Sammy.
All right. I'll go next. So I was trying to think about this. I was trying to put myself in Triple H's head here, right?
Shit, good luck, man. I was about to say.
So how do you springboard? How do you use this match and make all three guys either the same or better than they were? It's you have Chad Gable cost Sami Zayn the match. You move them away into a feud of their own, and Bronson Reed comes away with the Intercontinental Championship. I am taking Chad Gable as the least likely, Sami Zayn as the second least likely, and I'm taking Bronson Reed to win the Intercontinental Championship at Saudi Arabia.
This is podcasting.
That is how you get everybody over.
Oh, okay. Wow. That was not what I was expecting you to say. I love it. I'm a huge Bronson Reed guy. He beat Okada, and all of a sudden he comes over to WWE, and that shit doesn't even matter anymore. I love that fucking pick. I love it.
What made me think it was when Bronson Reed came up to Sami Zayn later on in Raw, and he's like, "Don't fucking forget about me, motherfucker." He's like, "I'm fucking here." And I thought that was really well done because it's true to his character. He doesn't give a shit what these two clowns are doing to each other. He wants that belt.
Man, that was for 30 seconds.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I need to see it happen before I'm willing to commit. That's the reason why I think Bronson Reed, unfortunately, is in this match, is to unfortunately take this pin. Now, how he gets pinned.
Give me those points.
Yeah, right. How he gets pinned, I have no idea, but I'm going to take Bronson Reed least likely because ultimately I agree with the Chad Gable, Sami Zayn spinoff. They just spin off with the title involved. Sami Zayn wins, Chad Gable second, Bronson Reed third.
All right. We have Gunther versus Randy Orton.
I always have Randy.
In the championship for the King of the Ring. So, Jason, who do you got?
I'm sticking with Gunther. As much as I would love, and I said Randy Orton, I would love to see Randy and Cody somewhere down the line because you obviously have legacy ties. I'm picking this one with my heart. King Gunther sounds amazing. Him versus...
Randy Orton as King doesn't make any sense.
Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. This feels like it needs to be a springboard for someone to go to the next level. Not saying that Gunther needs it, but he needs it in comparison to Randy Orton a little bit more. I'm taking Gunther.
Randy Orton's been King of the Ring?
No.
Who do you got, Zach?
I would love the idea of King Gunther, but I think the big match, the big money match at SummerSlam 2024 is Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. So I'm taking Randy.
Yeah. God, I love you.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that I feel like there's a better chance of Randy winning than there is of Liv Morgan.
Ooh. This is a hot take. Wow.
I tell you what, this is the best prediction segment we've
You've
ever
had,
done.
yeah.
It probably is the best one we've ever done.
Motherfuckers gonna come back next week salty as fuck.
We've done hundreds of these.
Yes, easily. This one sticks out more than the most. I don't know about that. Good, just because Gunther is booked so strongly, that's the only reason I would disagree with that. I think both could win. If you had me at gunpoint and made me choose, I would choose Liv over Randy.
But Gunther doesn't lose.
Gunther doesn't lose, and that's why that's the main reason I'm taking him.
I mean, there's some intrigue at this pay-per-view.
Both pay-per-views have some intrigue going on. I
Yeah.
mean, there should be some work rate matches, but there should be storylines advancing as well.
So we all took Nia Jax. Nia Jax versus Lyra Valkyria. I have already said that I am taking Nia Jax. Who you got, Zach?
Yeah, I am taking Nia Jax as well.
Nia Jax versus Bayley is something that they teased before Bayley won the title. Now you have the opportunity to actually cash in on that feud. Nia Jax, I said before, deserves a little push, especially since she's come back from her getting released. Perfect chance to do it. Lyra Valkyria is just a little overmatched.
It's a way to give Nia Jax a belt without actually giving her a belt.
Yeah.
And then finally, we got Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. Very much looking forward to this, too, even though it seems a little bit more predictable. Jason, who you got?
I got Cody. This could be the match of the night. I got high expectations for it. This is going to be a really good work rate match to close the show. And like I said, I got some expectations for it. I expect this to close the show strong.
This is not going to be the match of the night. We got Chad Gable, the underrated, the underused Chad Gable.
No.
Most underused dude of all time.
No.
In a Vegas special triple threat with my man Sami Zayn and fucking Jonah.
No.
Come on.
No. Don't get me wrong. I got expectations for that too. I got expectations for that too.
That match is gonna fucking rule.
This is for the title though, okay? This is part of the reason why we came here. That's why I'm saying Logan Paul brings it every fucking time.
No doubt.
Every time.
He's gonna be able. He's gonna be able to pull a good match out of Cody.
Yeah. Oh.
That's really good.
Zach, who you got?
You ain't shit.
I got Cody Rhodes.
Yep, I got Cody Rhodes as well. So those are our predictions.
Good match out of Cody.
Just for the record, the score is 74 to 73 to 70. Bill, Jason, Zach. So there can be some ground made up here, or maybe I'll just start pulling.
I'm probably
away.
not making it up. It's probably you guys are pulling away.
No, I think they're.
I don't know. You got a couple weird ones out there. You got Orton. That's a weird one.
No, once he said it, it
makes
total sense.
You got Roderick Strong. You can make up a little bit. Anyway, so that was our 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
I don't think there's that much to say about NXT. They're kind of chugging along. They lost a lot of talent. They're kind of like New Japan, so they're like building up some guys.
The deck.
Yeah, they got
Yeah, NXT is very much like New Japan. You are right. No.
God damn.
They lost a lot of talent. I will say that I do like what Joe Coffey is doing. Joe Coffey had a big night the other night.
He was everywhere.
Yeah, it's cool that he's back. But Jason, why don't you give us Zach? Have you had a chance to watch any Battle of the Super Juniors?
I have not watched a single match. I could have today. I just forgot it was even a thing. That's how low New Japan's fallen in my priority watching rankings, unfortunately.
Well, I'll say this about Battle of the Super Juniors is that there is no English commentary.
There is.
There is?
Yeah, you just have to go.
Because I'm not going on the New Japan app. Should I go on the New Japan app?
Yeah, I'll show you how to do it. It's super simple.
Okay, well, that's what I need to be watching it on. So how much is left, Jason? What's going on with it?
I guess, what day was this? The 22nd. So this was yesterday. I'm sorry. So this was day 8. So we're down to, I believe, the last 4 or 5 days coming up. Dominion is the 4th, if I'm not mistaken, the 4th or the 5th. So, yeah, we're getting to the nitty-gritty here. Just to go over it really quick, Teton in Block A has now taken the lead. He's sitting at 10 points over Blake Christian, who started out strong. He won his first 3. He's now dropped 3 in a row. He's at 8 points. From there, you have Bushi at 6 points, Kanemaru at 4 points, Hayata, who is the current GCW national champion.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
He works in Pro Wrestling Noah. He's essentially their junior heavyweight ace, but he won the national title off of Jack Morris. I guess it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, probably longer than that.
It's like Despy's got 10.
Despy just came on a run now. He's at 10 points, so he's tied with Teton.
Robbie Eagles in Block B, 10.
No, I have him at 8.
On Wikipedia, it's at 10.
On Cage Match, it's 8.
Spoiler alert.
Uh-oh. Who the hell is Ninja Mac?
Ninja Mac also works over in Pro Wrestling Noah.
I'm going to ask this as delicately as I can.
Shoot.
Ninja Mac, I think that's a food truck over here.
Stop.
I'm going to ask this as delicately as I can. What is Ninja Mac's ethnic background?
I have no fucking clue.
Does he wear a mask?
It's just
Yes.
El Gringo Loco in Japan.
Is it?
I mean, the style ain't too far off. I mean,
Is
they're
he black?
I don't think he's black. If he is, he's a light-skinned black, like a motherfucker.
Man, Ninja Mac could be anything.
He could be anything.
The true melting pot.
No,
of
it's
Yeah.
if you pin me down, I'm gonna say he's white, but I'm not gonna commit to
So
that.
Block B is kind of jammed up with 8s. It's Robbie Eagles at 10, Drilla Maloney, Kushida, Ishimori, Hiromu, and Sho, and Doki all at 8.
You said Dookie. God damn.
You know what I mean.
Put some respect on this man's name.
So the only guys that I don't know in here are Hayata, Ninja Mac, and Dragon Dia.
Dragon Diaz from Dragon Gate.
He's not doing too good.
Well, somebody's got to take the L's. I mean, TJP was the guy for a while, but now he's
Who's
Wait,
impressing
no,
you
right.
the most?
Kevin Knight is one guy that I remember when the pandemic started, and he was a young lion, and you could see the talent there, but you had to put on some weight. He's done that. He's got some seasoning.
What happened to Hiromu? Why isn't Hiromu running away with this thing?
I think Hiromu is making his run now. He started off slow, but now he's sitting at 8 points, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
They're giving him that Naito run.
Yeah,
Probably,
that's
where
what I was
he
going to
loses
say.
first.
He's tied with as far as I'm concerned, Cage Match has him tied at 8 points with Robbie Eagles.
Okay,
Even if he's not, if let's say he's down, 10-8, somehow, some way, whoever the final is going to main event Dominion. That's the biggest thing coming out of this. So I don't think they're going to just put anybody in this main event spot.
Now that I know that there's English commentary, I'm going to make an effort to watch this. We don't really have that much to talk about next week. We only got Double or Nothing in King and Queen of the Ring, so it'll be kind of a slow week. So we'll do 45 minutes to an hour on Battle of the Super Juniors.
My ass. So I was getting ready to say, motherfuckers ain't gonna rewatch that shit. No. It's like I said, it's real simple. It's just a push of the button. It'll go to. You have to go to the settings.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
No, I'll show you, man. Shit, it'll be right here. It'll take 5 minutes.
Man from Ringside.
Hey, everybody, we got some birthdays this week. Alex Shelley is 41. Bray Wyatt, R.I.P., would have been 37 this week. Believe it was yesterday. Alberto Del Rio is 47.
Alberto! I'll save you the rest. You know that. Del Rio.
Hope you're doing okay out there, Al.
What kind of world still has Alberto Del Rio in it? Lost Bray Wyatt.
I was getting ready to say, motherfucker wrestled, what was it, Dolph Ziggler down in Mexico a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I bet that.
Yeah,
really...
Ziggler took the title from him.
Oh, really?
It was
Yeah,
it was a title match. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler won it.
One of their 37 titles.
Stop.
Roman Reigns is 39. Bo Dallas, his birthday is 2 days after Bray Wyatt, 3 years before. He's 34. Eric Bischoff is 69. Natty is 42. Seth Rollins is 38. Pete Gas.
Frenemy of the show.
Yeah.
I guess he is a frenemy of the show.
Nah, he's just a straight-up enemy. Come find me, Pete Gas. Oh, so I follow this. I forgot to tell this story. I follow this thing on Twitter called like 25 years ago live and 50 years ago live and 100 years ago live, and it gives you the news as though you're living in that day. So like 1924, 1999, you know. And so they had a tweet today that was 1999, and it was like on this day, Owen Hart. It was 25 years ago today that Owen Hart fell to his death in Kansas City, and they said his last words were, and this tweet said that his last words were the promo that he cut as the Blue Blazer, like before the show on the pre-show. And all I did was tweet back to him. I was like, you guys don't know what his last words were. And they deleted the tweet. So fuck you, 1999 Live. Dude, take Owen Hart's name out of your mouth. The Brian Kendrick is 45. Nia Jax is 40. And Hornswoggle, 38 years old. He's just Swoggle now.
38? Jesus fucking Christ.
That can't be right, can it?
I would
right?
hope not.
That's in dog years.
For Bo Giesman,
Check.
for Tinder Mahal,
Check.
for Murray the Merryman Murray,
Check.
for Lucha Chris,
Check.
for Patriot Pat,
Check.
for Brent Jagger,
Check.
for 3 Beer Zach Pullman,
Check.
for Jason Cornelius Bell.
Konnichiwa, bitches.
I am Bill Vagey.
Check.
Black Lives Matter. Support
Check.
your local restaurants.
Check.
Support your local weed dealers. Give your parents a call.
Double check.
And never, ever forget to boo the heels.
Ooh, bitch.